Hallo, liebe Blutliebhaber. Willkommen zurück bei Vampyr. Ich habe das Spiel gestartet und hatte direkt eine Einblendung. Ja. Die Leute hier sind massiv erschöpft. Also, man sieht, die arbeiten sich hier richtig krank, ne? Behandlung gegen Erschöpfung. Na gut, er hat noch seine Kopfschmerzen, aber... The fuck? Also voll viele Leute, guck mal hier. Vorher waren wir noch bei gesund und jetzt ist es nur noch stabil. Oh shit. Also, Albert Palmer, von dem haben wir zwar gehört, den kennen wir aber noch nicht. Ja. So, das trifft sich ja jetzt gut, dass ich hier in meinem Zimmerchen bin. Denn jetzt kann ich ja auch mal gucken, dass ich vielleicht ein paar Sachen gegen ein paar Tränke gegen Erschöpfung herstellen kann. Oh, ich hoffe, ich habe genug. Aber ich glaube, ich kann nicht allen helfen, wie es aussieht. Das war's. Natriumchloridlösung fehlt mir. Vielleicht finde ich ja noch im Krankenhaus ein paar. Gucken wir mal. So, jetzt müssen wir natürlich erstmal gucken, wer ist denn überhaupt erschöpft. Sie ist unten bei ihrem Sohn. Das war der Patient. Und die Ärzte natürlich. Ja. Milton. Krankenschwester. Er hat die Kopfschmerzen. Okay. Wir wollen natürlich den Leuten helfen. Wir sind ein guter Vampir. Komisch, dass es auch sich anhören mag, aber... Wir möchten natürlich nicht, dass die Leute hier sich kaputt schuften. Ich meine, klar, alle haben die Hände voll zu tun. So, ich mache diese Ansicht aus dem Grund, dass ich weiß, wo ich die Leute finden kann. Und ihr geht's gut? Thomas Elwood. Qualität des Blutes unbekannt. Ah, guck mal, Natriumchloridlösung. Ach, guck mal, mit ihm hatten wir noch gar nicht gesprochen. Mit ihm quatschen wir mal.
How do you feel? Dr. Reid, is it? Oh,
Der hat mir im Boot getroffen. So, ganz am Anfang.
I was not myself in the factory.
Folge
Fear and exhaustion made me
Folge
say
2.
awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Niesen befreit. Ihr Leben in London. Sie waren in William Bishops Versteck. Die Lager an den East End Docks über Tom Watts.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reid. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
So. Kommen wir mal nach der Lage.
Situation in the East End docks.
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers trade union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Es könnte eine Information sein, die wir gut gebrauchen können. Die haben ihren Anführer verloren. Wer führt die Gang jetzt an?
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Okay. Stimmt, kommt der Name jetzt noch auch in unserer Liste vor.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Über Tom Watts.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
Korruption? Höre ich da etwa Korruption?
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Der hat ja nicht ganz unrecht. Persönliche Fragen. Wir können ihn alles fragen, keine Geheimnisse. Was machen Sie beruflich?
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is
Er hat Blut von ihm getrunken, aber wird er jetzt nicht zum Vampir?
and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
Nicht, dass er zum Vampir wird und die alle wegslaughtert, ne?
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke. Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Okay. Gut, mehr können wir ihn nicht
Goodbye, Mr.
fragen.
Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Aber jetzt haben wir noch mal ein paar Informationen aufgeschnappt. So, wer braucht denn hier jetzt noch Arznei? Kann belauschen. Untersuche die Taten des Bürgers. Muss ich näher ran? Könnte sein. Er braucht hier was gegen Erschöpfung.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm afraid I do. Like everyone in this hospital. It's a sad state of affairs when even the hospital workers are worried about disease.
Our job brings us into contact with all kinds of infections, Milton. There's no shame in being ill while you're in a hospital.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. I get the feeling you don't fall sick often. But thanks, anyway.
Goodbye, Milton.
Maybe he knows. So, das ist Clay. Menü. Wer ist denn da? Unbekannt. Oswald. Was treiben die da unten? Wo gehen die denn hin? Kommen die hier hoch? Habe ich mal eine Chance vertan, sie zu belauschen? Können wir den Dude hier trotzdem anquatschen?
Good evening, sir. I am Dr. Jonathan Reid of the Pembroke Hospital. May I be of assistance?
Dr. Reid. So it's you who saved my friend Oswald. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
And you are?
Newton Blight. Oswald and I recently returned from the war.
Ah, okay, das ist der Typ, der Freund von dem Typen, den wir befreit haben. Der. Persönliche Fragen. Können wir nichts fragen, leider. Leben in London.
Why do you stay here now that Mr. Thatcher's back?
It's complicated. Since the war, Oswald's been really nervous with the idea of entering any hospital. And me, I've got my own issues.
Can you speak about them?
Rats, sir. Even seeing one, they turn me. Just want to run. It's that fear that stopped me from going after Oswald when he left.
Neuer Hinweis. Erzählen Sie mir vom Krieg.
What can you tell me about the war, Mr. Blight? If you want to speak about it, of course.
War was... Well, you know, sir. The stench of death everywhere. Your mates lying bleeding in the mud. Just praying to make it through and get home. Bloody nightmare.
Did you know Oswald Thatcher before the war?
No. We met in the battlefield. I think we were in the same boat to France. We've stuck together ever since.
I fought in France, too. I served as a field surgeon, but it was not uncommon to repel an assault, especially at night.
Yeah. The first time I was wounded, I had to protect the infirmary from hostiles. Twice.
Gehen Sie zum Pembroke Hospital.
You are always welcome at the Pembroke Hospital. As a former officer, I'll be honored to welcome a fellow veteran.
I'm not giving up on bringing Oswald back to the hospital. I just need to convince him that he needs some help.
Perhaps he needs to reach that decision by himself.
Could you speak to him? He doesn't usually listen to doctors, but perhaps because you've been through it, you can talk him round.
Ich kann es versuchen. Persönliche Frage. Über die Rattenphobie.
What caused your phobia of rats, Newton?
It happened last year following an artillery attack. I was trapped for 2 days in a hole under 2 dead soldiers. And there were rats.
Go on.
They started eating me as soon as I dozed. Gnawing at my ears, my fingers, lips. Couldn't move. Couldn't call for help.
I see.
No, you don't. You have no idea what it is to wake up buried under bodies. Fucking vermin eating your flesh. Oswald. He found me and saved me.
Okay, verstehe.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight.
Okay. Vielleicht können wir nochmal mit ihm quatschen. Vielleicht mag er uns auch noch ein bisschen was erzählen.
Hello again, Mr. Thatcher. Do you feel any better now?
Yes, this neighborhood may stink of dog shit and reek of piss, but to me it smells like the purest mountain air.
Krasser Vergleich. Hinweis benötigt. Haben Sie Arbeit?
Mr. Thatcher, do you have a job?
No. Since I came back from the war, I spent most of my time and energy just trying to forget.
I understand what you mean. I was a soldier too.
No. Nobody can truly understand what I've gone through.
Why were you locked in that sewer? What happened?
I went by the canal after an argument with a friend. Got chased by these fucking wankers and had to barricade myself in, despite my claustrophobia.
Klaustrophobie?
Tell me about your claustrophobia. Has anyone given you an official diagnosis?
That's what the bloody doctor said. But I don't want to go to a hospital to get checked again. I'll deal with it my own way.
Verstehe.
Why did you run? What was the reason for your argument?
Newton wanted me to go to a hospital. I can't stand being closed in. Makes me feel like I'm suffocating.
Er kann auch in so ein Lazarettzelt draußen, wenn er nicht rein will. Geht ja auch. Jetzt wäre das ein bisschen beschissen, aber ja. Warum gehen Sie nicht ins Krankenhaus?
Oswald, Why did you not go to the Pembroke Hospital to seek medical help?
I don't trust doctors. All they care about is their careers and processes. I won't be locked in any room again by anyone.
Your fear of being trapped is not going to go away by itself. You need professional help.
I've seen enough butchers in white coats to last a lifetime. Hospitals reek of chemicals and death. What I need is fresh air.
Ihre Angst, eingeschlossen zu sein.
Do you want to talk about why you have this fear of being enclosed, Mr. Thatcher?
No, I really don't.
An irrational fear like yours is usually rooted in a specific event. Perhaps it would help to talk about it.
Well, Doctor, take a guess then if you're so interested in my case.
Es war ihre Kindheit, sie waren verschüttet. Es sind die Schuldgefühle eines Soldaten. Sie waren verschüttet. Das könnte gut sein, oder? Es war ein traumatisches Erlebnis in seiner Kindheit. Schwer zu sagen. Wir sind halt Arzt, kein Psychologe. Also Chirurg sind wir. Waren verschüttet. Könnte vielleicht sein im Krieg, ne?
When I rescued you, you expressed joy at seeing the sky again. So I'm inclined to believe you were trapped or buried somehow. Maybe during a shelling.
Jeez, you're good, Doc.
Yes!
You're really good.
Go on, please. Tell me.
Das war die richtige Antwort.
Newton and I were trapped in a circulation tunnel after an artillery attack. We were buried alive for several days without ever knowing if we'd be found.
Ah! Was passierte, als sie eingeschlossen waren? Tell me more about it.
Oswald, tell me about what happened when you were buried in that tunnel with Newton.
It was more than dark. It was black as pitch. Hours seemed like days, and days like months. The terror, the shameful thoughts. Lord have mercy.
Sie haben etwas Furchtbares durchlitten.
What you endured was terrifying. It would have completely destroyed weaker men.
It did not destroy Newton.
Shameful thoughts. Tell me about them.
At some point, I don't remember which day, when I thought we'd never be rescued, that this would be our end, I thought about...
Say it, Mr. Thatcher. If you ever want to heal, you have to say it.
I thought about what I could do to survive, just for a few more days. I thought about killing Newton.
Ja, ich dachte mir schon, Kannibalismus, ihn zu
The
essen.
man I fucking love.
Ja. Verzweifelte Situationen bringen Leute zu verzweifelten Taten. Das ist leider die Wahrheit. Ihre Gefühle für Newton.
Tell me about your true feelings for Newton.
I love him. I'm not ashamed to say it. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. I can't imagine life without him.
Oh. Cute. Warum sollten sie sich schämen? Naja, 1918, Homosexualität. Schwieriges Thema, glaube ich.
Why should you be ashamed?
I'm not, I said. But Newton sees it differently.
I admire your honesty. It takes courage to stand up to society. The world needs people like you to create change.
Courage is what we needed in the trenches, looking death in the face every day. I speak plain. I speak my mind.
Have you always been this straightforward?
All I know is, before you saved me by the sewer, my only regret was I wouldn't be able to hold or kiss Newton again. I love him, that's all.
Hey, wir haben direkt noch Hinweise bekommen. Fantastisch. Persönliche Fragen. Ihre Angst. Okay, ein Hinweis fehlt noch.
Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher.
Okay, jetzt verstehen wir ihn wesentlich besser. Stimmt, er hat die Kopfschmerzen. Dann können wir mit ihm nochmal quatschen, weil wir noch eine Information bekommen haben.
Good evening, Dr. Reid. You doing your rounds as usual?
How do you feel about Oswald Thatcher? You are more than friends, aren't you?
I love him. I love Oswald. We knew we wouldn't survive the war without each other. But I am terrified, Doctor.
What frightens you so much?
What if people find out? Oswald says I'm ashamed, but it ain't that. It's more, well, you know, I never thought I'd love a man.
Die Liebe hinfällt, mein Gott. Ich werde kein Wort darüber verlieren. Ich kann Ihnen nur zur Vorsicht raten. Genießen Sie Ihre Liebe. Ja.
Enjoy your love. And enjoy life as long as you can, Mr. Blight. Don't let anyone tell you who you should love or how you should love them.
My
I
boy.
appreciate your kind words, sir. But it ain't that easy. It's all so new to me.
You and Oswald were buried alive during the war. Tell me about it.
Yeah. It was last summer. A shell hit our trench and we were buried for a week.
Wir haben sie überlebt.
How did you survive for a week?
Luckily for us, there were rations and water in the tunnel. It was an outpost, see. Since then, Oswald's not keen on being inside for too long.
Oswald seemed far more traumatized than you by the event.
It wasn't the first time it happened to me. Surviving it again gave me strength. You believe that?
Kaum zu glauben, ja. Aber das, ja, das hat ihn natürlich dementsprechend abgehärtet. Okay, wir können nichts mehr über ihn erfahren. Wir haben ihn komplett analysiert.
Good evening.
Evening, Doc.
So, das ist neu.
Newton is conflicted about his feelings towards you. Would you like to talk about it, Oswald?
It makes me sad and angry. It feels like the beautiful thing we have is somehow tainted. It hurts to see him so lost.
His love for you is genuine. I'm certain he wasn't lying to me when he expressed his feelings for you.
Newton still has to accept it, knowing he'll be seen as a queer, a fairy, less than a man in those simple-minded bigots' eyes. Though he's more of a man than they'll ever be, so fuck 'em all.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Na gut, wieder back to business. Ich weiß, dass in diesem Spiel wir viele Dialoge haben. Das ist mir auch durchaus bewusst. Aber das ist halt Teil der Welt, ein Teil der World Exploration, dass wir halt Leute, wie gesagt, mit denen quatschen und dementsprechend mehr über sie herausfinden und über die Lage und
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you require
persönliche Beziehungen aufbauen.
I will be fine. As soon as I can get some sleep.
Nurse, you won't be able to help people if you're sick. Take this, and do try to get some rest.
I'll try, Dr. Reid. Thank you.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you...
Gut, sie erholt sich. Milton erholt sich auch. Da drüben gibt es noch ein Gespräch zu observieren. So. Unser lieber Dr. Aykroyd, der so nett ist, ist auch erschöpft. Gib ihm mal was gegen die Erschöpfung.
I'm quite busy.
Ja, ja.
Do you need my assistance?
Don't be ridiculous. I'm capable of dealing with this myself. I've just not taken the time to do so.
Then you are lucky that I have taken the time to do so. Consider it a gesture of solidarity between professionals.
I wish this hospital could have received as much attention from you, Dr. Reid. We do not see you in surgery very often.
Thank you for your time.
Blaming me will not further your agenda, sir. How long's it going to take to fix me properly? A month? A year? You have the right to disapprove of our methods, and you will kindly apologize when you're feeling better.
Ach, mit dem habe ich noch gar nicht getalkt.
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reid. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reid.
Dann fragen wir ihn mal. Ein paar Sachen. Erzählen Sie mir von sich.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reid. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
Beehrer, oh. Ich helfe Ihnen gerne. Praktische Arbeit ist auslaugend. Meicheleien bringen nichts. Ich helfe Ihnen gerne.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
Warum sagt mir mein inneres Gefühl, dass der Typ ein Vampir ist? Bin mir nicht sicher, aber Das Merisieren.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Ich bin ziemlich optimistisch.
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reid. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
Eine Quest. Fehlende Inhaltsstoffe. Okay.
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
Oh ja, das stimmt. Persönliche Fragen. Grund für den Streit mit Ackroyd über die Bluttransfusionsmethode.
Tell me, Thoreau. What's the real cause of your dislike for Dr. Ackroyd?
He refuses to admit that your blood transfusion technique is the only way to save Mr. Fiddick. I'm convinced we must use it.
What Dr. Ackroyd really said is that you lack the skill to perform this operation efficiently. Is there anything you have to say about this?
It's a false conceit. Dr. Ackroyd secretly envies your reputation. His jealousy blinds him. I'm not the real target here.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reid. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
Damit können wir ihn nochmal konfrontieren, dass er gelogen hat.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Aykroyd's behavior. A man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones and flesh.
Okay, haben wir schon mal ein bisschen was erfahren.
Goodbye.
Dr. Strickland. Okay. Dann quatschen wir nochmal mit ihm.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reid. Any news about my operation?
Weshalb haben Sie die Schuldgefühle wegen Ihrer Verletzung? Warum? Was ist da los?
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
Ihre Frau ist ihretwegen gestorben?
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
Oh shit.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
Über den Tod Ihrer Frau.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army. Building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
Ah, ist das bitter, Alter.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
Ja, dann wären die Kinder nämlich auch tot und er hätte nichts mehr.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
Really? Why has no one else asked me that since I got here? I thought I was in a hospital.
Unfortunately, you are not the only person who needs help. And complaining about it won't do you any good.
Well, perhaps you're right, Dr. Reid. I'm sure if me missus was still alive, she wouldn't be happy with me going on like this.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Okay, ihm haben wir auch jetzt geholfen. Lady Ashbury.
It's locked.
Aber warum geht die Tür dann auf?
My sweet girl.
Wer hat denn noch Erschöpfung? Er da draußen. Habe ich noch ein Mittel gegen Erschöpfung? Ich muss gerade mal gucken. Behandlung gegen Erschöpfung, ja, habe ich noch 2.
It's locked, all right.
Ich könnte es...
ceases to amaze me how you, the dead, seem...
Könnte es wahrscheinlich öffnen, wenn ich ihn töte.
Such a pleasure to see you again.
Weil er wahrscheinlich den Schlüssel bei sich hat.
Medical attention.
Well, the proximity of the dead is not the most healthy company, even if the quiet can be appreciated.
Don't take too many risks with your health, Mr. Chidana. None of us are immune to this disease.
And that is a good thing. Death and disease is a constant reminder of our mortality. But you have my thanks, Dr. Reid.
Goodbye, Mr.
Ja, Sterblichkeit. Dafür können wir jetzt mittlerweile leider kein Lied mehr singen. Weil wir nicht sterben. Kann ich die jetzt trotzdem noch irgendwie belauschen, oder? Hat sonst noch wer Erschöpfung? Ich guck gerade mal. Thomas Elwood. Ah, sie. Gut, er hat Kopfschmerzen. Ich kann da leider nichts tun aktuell. Aber ich will noch mal rausgehen und gucken, ob ich die vielleicht doch noch belauschen kann irgendwie. Aber ich glaube, das ist gone. Ist jetzt auch, glaube ich, nicht so tragisch. Untersuche die Taten des Bürgers. Kann ich die denn belauschen? Kann ich das noch irgendwie... Klaustrophobie erfolgreich. Fehlende Inhaltsstoffe, Bürgermissionen. Nee. Kann ich das noch irgendwie nachschauen? Sprach plus Untertitel. Gameplay. Ausempfindlichkeit, Autolog. Controllersteuerung. Interaktionssprung gedrückt halten, Aussagen. Vampirsinne in den Bann ziehen. Gehen, laufen, Sinne. Blub. Eigentlich A gedrückt halten. Näher gehen. Das hat doch schon mal geklappt. Ich verstehe gerade nicht, wie ich das machen soll. Er leuchtet auf, aber warum? Dr. Tippett. Ich habe Schmerzen, ich brauche eine Medizin. Kann ich Dr. Tippett folgen? Von außen geht das, ne? Warte mal, das will ich mal versuchen, wenn ich nach außen gehe und ihn dann belausche. Vielleicht bekomme ich dann irgendwie eine Info oder so. Jetzt. Zum Henker.
Damn it! Why is this so difficult every time?
Der ist ein Drogensüchtiger. Der gibt sich jetzt den ultimativen Fix.
That is better. That is better. I will make it through one more night.
Alter. Damn. Jetzt haben wir ein dunkles Geheimnis rausgefunden. Dr. Tippett ist ein Junkie. Okay, aber dann kann ich das Gespräch auch noch belauschen bei den anderen zwei da unten, oder? Wenn ich mich da hinstelle. Weil da war ja so ein bisschen so ein roter Punkt auf dem Boden. Da an einem gewissen Punkt kann ich ja dann A drücken. Okay, aber das würde ich sagen, mache ich jetzt in der nächsten Folge. Ich begebe mich schon mal dahin und ja, es ist leider nicht so viel passiert. Wir haben viele Gespräche mit den Leuten hier geführt, das tut mir leid. Aber das gehört zur Welt dazu und zum Spiel und ich könnte natürlich auch alles ignorieren, aber es interessiert mich irgendwo schon. Was sind das für einzelne Charaktere und was haben die zu erzählen? Ich finde ich schon recht spannend. Ist ja wie gesagt nicht nur ein Action-Game, sondern auch ein sehr investigatives Spiel mit ein paar, wie soll ich es nennen, Sherlock Holmes-Elementen. Und ja, ich bin erstmal hier am Ende angelangt. Bedanke mich schon mal recht herzlich fürs Zusehen bei dieser Episode von Vampyr und dann sehen wir uns das nächste Mal. Dann geht es wieder nach Whitechapel. Also, macht's gut.